Hello and welcome everybody. I'm Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. I have the April horoscope for Cancer. Now it's a big month for you Cancerians because when we have a solar eclipse, it's always conjunct, the moon is always conjunct the sun, and the moon is your ruling planet. So this is going to bring a lot of extra energy towards you, and it's to do with insight and awareness, really starting to understand what's going on. In your case, this is all happening in your 10th house, and because of that, it's going to affect your life direction, perhaps, or your career, or maybe your relationship with authority figures such as parents, particularly your mother, which is the traditional interpretation. It could be either parent, but usually, or traditionally, it was the mother. So a big month, Mercury also going retrograde. I'll talk more about that in a moment. But firstly, we're going to draw two cards as theme cards for the month for you. So let's go to the board now and do this. You can see here's all the activity going up, not totally public because there's a few planets coming down here. Doesn't look like there's anything in the 12th house. It's so crowded, it's a bit hard to see, but a lot of energy around your public life. Let's just put it that way. So cards, the first half of the month, what do I see for caring Cancerians? A piano keys. I think it's more or less saying something like composing your life. You write the music, you play the music. It's up to you to compose it and put it all together, the arrangements and all that sort of thing as well. It's basically saying you're more in control of your life this month. So the card that actually comes out is the Death card. How appropriate in a way, because you do have new beginnings starting here in your 10th house with this new moon and all this activity, and it means that you need to say goodbye to your old way of being. This card in no way reflects death of a person. Let's get that straight. I know people freak out when they see the imagery here, but the card actually means there's a new chapter in your book of life about to start. Sometimes, I don't know about you, but sometimes it doesn't even seem like a new chapter. It seems like a whole new book. So it could be a new book of life about to begin for you. You'll see here the scythe, the cutting down of the past is basically what it's about. And it's going to happen. You have to let go of the past to make space for the new beginnings that are all around you. Major Arcana card, major to do with your life direction and hence all this activity. Now the second half of the month, something else I got to say here. Hang on just a sec, because I can't move on until I get to the absolute point. So in this vision, yes, the dam wall is about to break. And there's a lot of pent-up emotion that perhaps you've been holding back in some way, just sitting on your emotions. It's about to come out. So you might have a few days where you're feeling a bit despondent or a bit sad and the tears come out. That's okay, just to let that happen. You're saying goodbye to the past. Sometimes the past can be comfortable or not, but we're comfortable in knowing what to expect, even if that is uncomfortable. Hope that makes sense. All right, can I move on now? Second card of the month. What do I see for caring Cancerians? It's like you've been in some respect in a dark hole in the ground. You've been underground about something. Maybe you haven't been as public in your life as what you would have liked to have been, or something's been hidden away. So what I'm actually seeing are like stone steps. They're very old and ancient, and it's quite dark down here in like a cave, but walking up and walking towards the surface. And then there's a lot of light on the surface, of course, shining down. And so it's like you're about to come into the awareness, a fresh new awareness that you didn't have before, or at least not for a very long time. And so a new beginning is there. So a spiritual new beginning is in store for you, caring Cancerians. The card, let me just see. I'm just looking for that one will do. Okay. The card that comes out is the Knight of Pentacles. It's time to explore, get out there into the world, and you may do this in some way with your money. Sometimes this is like a young person who does a few experiments, and you might have to do a fair few actually before you get one that pays off. That's okay. It doesn't have to happen in 5 minutes. You've got all the time in the world. And so it might be, it's like a young person, and it's like there's a sort of trust in the unknown. Deep down, it's like, I'll just go with the flow and explore and see what happens. Sometimes this card can suggest a change in residence as well. As the Lion indicates, you're in a position of strength in believing that the Spirit will take care of you, and it's just like you have a positive attitude in some way with regard to these new experimentations that you're going to undertake. Action is required as well. All right, let's just move that. So there are your 2 cards. Keep those in mind. Now I'm going to make this just a bit bigger, like that. This is what's happening a fair bit. Firstly, as I mentioned, there's a lot happening in the public area of your life. There's no aspect patterns to start the month off. Sometimes at the beginning of the month we think an aspect pattern can sort of be like a mini template for the month, but you don't have that. However, we all have Mercury retrograde from the 1st of April to the 25th of April, and Mercury retrograde is here in Aries, and it is going backwards basically. So it's going to be a bit of a rip-roaring time. There it is there. That's actually Aries there. So there's so much happening and it's all jammed in. That's actually Aries, the house there, and Mercury's there, and it's going backwards. Now these dates here, you should allow a week either side when Mercury is in what's called shadow period, when the energy's coming on or going off. In your case here, do watch for delays or issues with travel, particularly to do with work or authority. There could be extra time taken or some sort of glitch. Or also transactions, Mercury covers that, so do check your credit card statements and your banking as well. And contracts, it's not a good time to sign a contract. If you are looking at changing life direction, particularly taking new employment, for example, or a career change, and you have a contract, you want to get another set of eyes to look over that to make sure that everything is as you think it is. And then we have Venus going into Aries, and that's on the 5th as well, bringing a beautiful new flowing sort of energy. So it's here in the 9th house, then it moves into the 10th house, and then it moves into the 11th house. And Venus in Aries brings this lovely sort of flowing energy, which is really greases the world of work, greases the cogs that run the world of work. You might find you meet beautiful people through your work. You might find that there could be some sort of personal relationship with somebody that you meet through work, either at work or through your work. And it's generally just a beautiful, comfortable, polite, courteous, fair situation with Venus there. The solar eclipse in Aries here in the 10th house as well brings new beginnings, but it also brings like physical manifestation of those beginnings. It's not all just in your head or how you feel. There's actually some concrete manifestation going to come up. Even though this is for April, I feel like the consequences will last for some considerable time, which is probably indicated by this death card too, because it is the beginning of a news cycle. So this is April horoscope, but I feel like the effects are going to go on for some time. The sun goes into Taurus here, bringing a lot of happiness and really positive vibes, optimism around your friendships, groups and associates. You could join new groups or meet new people as well. And Venus will also join in here on the 29th, bringing beautiful people into your world. So it's quite likely you'll meet new people. Jupiter is conjunct Uranus and has been for a fair while in this house, but this could bring some sort of unusual situation where you grow, you find your networks are growing. So this is great for anything online, but yeah, also physically and personally as well. Something unusual, unpredictable, even volatile could happen. But Jupiter's generally, anything it touches, it makes bigger, and it's generally quite positive and optimistic. So I wouldn't be afraid. I'd be welcoming that energy with both arms open. The full moon in Scorpio down here does give a bit of a shake-up to your socialising, your creativity, and also the world of the child. You could be dealing more with children or your own inner child. You may lose some friends because this is opposite what's going on up there with friends groups and associates. You may let go of some friends or become a bit more distant from some friends to allow some space to meet new people that are more in alignment with where you're at the moment. Maybe some of your current associates or connections are not really on the same page as you anymore. Maybe you're growing as a person and maybe they're not growing in the same way or the same direction as you. But that's okay. That's the 23rd of the month, by the way. Already talked about Venus in Taurus. Mars also goes into Aries here, and that is on the last day of the month, the 30th of the month. That is going to be full on power, surge ahead, a ton of power, because Mars is the ruler of Aries, and so it's at home, the planet is at home in Aries, and it's likely to really give you quite forceful energy. Be careful when you speak that it doesn't come out a bit too strong. You may not mean it to be strong, but it might sound quite strong, so watch for that. But this gives a lot of ambition in your career, your life direction. It's like you want to get on and do something more, and you'll have the power and the energy to do that. Okay, so that's it. It's an exciting month. I think perhaps don't count on things staying the same. If I had to say a theme, it's like everything's changing and you're going to be full of more excitement and vim and vigour like a young person. So it might be you're having flashbacks to your 20s in somehow, and maybe look back and think about when you were younger. I don't know how old you are, obviously, there's all ages watch these videos, but have a look back and see what happened when you were in your 20s, and it's like in some way you might go back to that in some way. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget, leave a comment and a like, and don't forget to share on your socials. Subscribe if you're not a subscriber to the channel. That would be fabulous. Thanks again. I'll see you all again soon. Bye for now.